Thank you for picking up the sticks. This is our Spider-Man review / Spoilercast. I am Mike Kernett. To my right is Spider-Man.
Woo!
No, you can't. I cannot put your name on there until you reveal yourself, which you should because it's hot as shit in here. And you should probably hey, a steak. Mike Steak Kernett.
What's going on?
Now your family's in danger.
Shit!
Put it back on. And to my left, Art. Is it symbiote? He doesn't know. Rosian.
Does it matter?
Symbiote, right? I think it's right.
Sure.
Oh, whatever. So anyway,
I'm not getting in that argument.
We're doing our. We all play Spider-Man, to varying degrees. You,
Platinum.
me, Platinum.
Third act.
On his way. So we've gone through a lot of it, obviously, just saying that alone. So we're gonna do to start off. We're not going to do spoilers. So to start off, we're going to do high level.
I'm gonna sweat my balls off during this part.
That's dedication. So we're going to talk about just kind of overview and not spoil anything for the first part, and then we
should really stretch this out.
We will see how long you can how long. Then we'll do the spoiler on the second half of this, and we'll put some kind of symbol up there for like spoilers or whatever.
I'm gonna take my hoodie off.
Oh, okay, there you go. Hoodie on, you're fine. Hoodie off.
Spider-Man? No spoilers. Venom? Spoilers.
Is that a spoiler? You don't know.
You have no idea.
Spoilers. It's not a spoiler.
Oh.
So
you had the shirt on. You ruined it already. God damn it.
So, Spider-Man from Insomniac Games. Give us like initial first thoughts.
Define first thoughts, like what I think of it or what I thought when I first started playing the game.
How did you feel during the first hour of the game?
It was rough getting used to the web slinging movement, just because it's not something you normally do in a game. Usually, if you want to move fast, you hold down the run button and you fucking run, or you get in your car, you hold down the gas and go. And to like build up speed with the the web sling, you kind of have to learn to like time your jumps and time your web slings, and you got to figure out how to like work the turns so you're not like running on a wall, which slows you down.
How important the zipping is, and how important like the launch or
Yep.
the not the zip, but what do you call it when you on one certain point?
I don't know.
What do you
Oh, the quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How important those things are in traversal. So like I was by the time the very first mission opens up and you jump out a window and you go. So it's like you are in the air as the game starts.
All of a sudden it's like, oh shit,
yeah,
wait,
I'm controlling.
controlling.
So and like by the time I got to my destination, I had swinging down, and I think that was just muscle memory from the old Spider-Man 2 back days. It is different swinging in this one, but overall, like I felt in tune with it almost immediately. Amelia also played the game. Like she saw me swinging, she's like, "Can I do that?" Like, yeah, let's try it. And I kind of gave it a button layout, and a little bit further into the game, and she picked it up right away too. So I think that is it is. And before I get into that, what is your first impressions of this?
I almost gave up on this game.
What
In the first like couple hours, I almost gave up on this game. The controls were pissing me off. It was driving me insane.
Whoa.
It was driving me nuts.
What exactly was driving you nuts?
I don't know. Something just did not feel like this is just the first couple hours, but something did not feel right. Something felt off. The swinging. I was constantly running into buildings, and I was like getting pissed. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then it's constantly losing my height, so I was constantly on the ground, and it was driving me nuts. And then like the combat and everything, I thought was I don't know. Something about it just felt frustrating. It was just like, what the hell? I kept dying constantly. I was getting my ass kicked.
Going back to as far as losing your height, did you ever like go on a swing at a playground as a kid?
Yeah.
So what we're getting?
Wait. Okay. I'm mind blown by this because I did not see that coming at all from you. So
me maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
fuck this. I'm gonna play.
So what remedied it for you?
We'll get into more of that when it comes to more of the spoiler stuff.
Okay.
Because the story was very big for this. Like,
did it eventually click for you, or was it a struggle the whole time?
It eventually got better. When I unlocked more skills, it got better.
Yeah. Yes.
And then as I was leveling up and my health was going up, my melee damage was going up, it got better. Right. I just felt the initial struggle was like, okay, I'm not playing I'm playing normal. I'm playing on the normal difficulty, which was friendly, amazing and then Superior, I believe, right?
I think so.
I think that's the whatever. Like Amazing, Superior were one of the two.
Amazing's normal because that's the one I'm playing.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So I was playing on Amazing. So I was playing on normal, and but I was like, and it's like, okay, I don't mind like a little challenge. Like again, it's like, okay, I get a challenge here and there and stuff, but like, I was just getting wiped, and I was just like, what the fuck?
I did die in my very first fight. So
me too. Yeah, the very first one. Yeah,
because I was treating it like Arkham, where once you press the dodge button, in Arkham it was triangle to counter.
Right.
In this, it's circle to evade.
Right.
And if you do it too early, you're still in the way.
So
in counter it, you hit triangle and you would counter a guy, and that'd be it. So I didn't the timing was much more like once I realized, all right, this isn't Arkham. I need to treat this more like I am evading and being quick.
Yeah.
I'm not countering.
Right.
I'm getting out of the way.
Yeah.
I had significantly better overall fighting. I'm blown. I would not have guessed.
You broke Mike's brain right off the bat.
I'm so caught off guard by the whole thing.
This is the first couple hours we're talking.
Okay.
Here. This is the first couple hours we're talking.
Tell me after that. How did you feel about the game?
Best Spider-Man game I've ever played.
Oh yeah, I think that is universally accepted and
not only the best Spider-Man game ever, almost like one of the best games I've ever played. Period.
So how do you, what broke my brain was I platinumed it, and I almost hated it. So that was a disconnect for me. So what was the moment where you did turn the corner on this game, where you were like, I'm gonna get the platinum?
I think it was just like I realized, it was nice it was nice to see collectibles show up on the map, which was like, okay, this is kind of nice. Okay, I don't actually have to really once you get get to the area of the collectible, sometimes you got to look for it a little bit, but that's fine. I'm in the vicinity. It's somewhere here. Right. So that was kind of nice. And then I realized, as I was doing more of the side stuff, I was gaining more experience. Mm-hmm. I was getting more skill points. Mm-hmm. I was getting more skills. And then it made the combat a little bit more fluid and a little more easier. I was like, okay, here we go. I'm doing this shit. And then I kind of briefly took a look at the trophy list, and I was like, oh, I really don't have to go out of my way for any of this stuff. You do it all. If you do it all, it's not yes, it's extra work to still get the platinum, but there was purpose to all of it. It was a part of it. You know, the only thing, and we'll get a little bit more into this. Maybe in this, I don't know if I should talk about it now. Probably more in the spoiler section to talk about it. But there's certain aspects I really enjoyed, and there was other aspects I fucking hated. And when it comes to some of that extra stuff. Yeah. Which, I think we'll wait till spoilers for that.
Agreed.
But once I realized, okay, by doing all this stuff, I'm getting better, and it was making the game more fun for me. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm doing it all. There's only, if you look at there's only 2 trophies you kind of have to go out of your way to do.
Yeah, and those are this landmark based, right? That we're talking about.
Yes, and that's stuff. I was like, oh. Okay, that's fine.
I know what that is already. The other one I had to search for 2 minutes and found.
Yeah, exactly.
So, totally. So, okay, back to you.
Yeah.
So, what were some of your... obviously, swinging is the crown jewel of this game,
well, right? If they miss the swinging, the game's fucked.
Yep.
And they completely nailed it. Those one of those things where, the only reason I ever fast traveled was just to get that one trophy for fast traveling. That was it.
Hilarious.
There's sometimes when I'm still playing now, it's okay, you have to get to the next objective, and it's 2,000 meters away, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna swing it. If I could fast travel, I would, because it takes a minute or two to do 2,000 meters.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, you have to weave between buildings and stuff, follow the road and cut and.
But that moment, like I said, the web swinging is done so brilliantly when it comes to when you're close to the ground. So it does just web slings just long enough that you're just skimming across the cars, skimming across the street, and you can hear the trees, you can hear the trees breaking as you're going through it, and it is absolutely exhilarating to swing in this game, and it's so fast and fun and fluid, and I think the add-ons of the zips and the going right to the points and the jumping, the super jumps you can do off of it, and finding out the bigger jumps you can do later on when you're opening up a skill tree. It is up there in my favorite way to traverse a world ever. It feels right. It looks right. The add-on little goofy stuff like tricks you can do, like you're just doing. I was doing somersaults for no reason, just because I could.
You're getting a little bit of experience, and it filled up your focus meter, which was awesome.
So
at least there was perks to doing that.
Yeah, and there'd be times when you're going from A to B that I'd be my focus meter, which is like your special move, and we'll kind of get into a little more of that later. But my focus meter would be ready to rock and roll by the time I landed and had to fight the bad guys. So swinging with style, actually.
There's a purpose.
Yeah, right.
Not only, it looked cool and it had a purpose.
Yep.
So that piece of it. That alone is worth the price of admission to me. I kind of felt the same way about the fighting system. I was not a big fan of the fighting system to start off with. I felt like I was just smashing square and hitting smashing triangle, not doing a whole lot of things.
Yep.
But when I got into it a little bit further, when I started unlocking more of the gadgets, and by the end of it, it was just punch this guy, web this guy, shoot the electricity at this guy, shoot the airburst on this guy so he goes off the building. So I'm switching these things up. I'm putting them together too.
Yeah.
Where I would do the you have this big drop you can do with the webs where you attach 2 webs to the ground and you pull down on it and you just do this big area of effect. I would do that, and then I would have the web burst, so they'd all be on the ground. I'd web them all up. Half of a base would be gone before I'm even interacting with anybody yet.
Right.
So there's so much. The level of creativity seems negligible in the first 4 hours of that game, but once you get into it, man, and once you realize the best time to do certain things. Yeah. It opens a world of possibility.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's, like I mentioned, it took me a while to get the swinging down to the point where I could build up some speed and, do the bigger jumps and all that stuff. The fighting was the same way, and like you mentioned with the skills, it's even once I started unlocking the skills, it took a while for me to get to the point where I can okay, I'm going to juggle this guy, then I can, airstrike this guy, web this guy up. When you start chaining shit together, that's when it gets fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
and it takes a little bit to get there.
It does. I mean you got to unlock. There's some of those skills you got to unlock them first in order to get to that stuff.
And some of the later stuff is some of the especially when you start webbing up guns and throwing guns and things like that, throwing back rockets. And I mean, there's so much. There's there's a lot of button combinations to go into that, but when you're pulling it off, it's you feel powerful. It's fun.
Yep.
And it's and it's super cinematic too. They're doing the finishing moves, and there's they're swinging the camera around, and it slows down, and then you can start chaining those together too. Man, I adore this fighting system by the end of it.
Yep. No, I agree. Like I said, my mind totally changed towards the end of it.
Yeah, and as you get further in the game, you go into different battle types. When you start off, it's you're running into random street thugs who are committing a crime, and you're fighting 4 guys, and real quick that gets. It's pretty basic and it gets pretty easy real quick, but you start getting into the end of the second act, the third act, and you're fighting.
My God.
You're going into bases with dozens of enemies, and you can't just run in there and start beating people up. You gotta try to be stealthy. If the stealth fails, then you have to formulate a strategy. You have to web guys. You have to get these other guys, take other guys out of the way right away, otherwise they're gonna fuck you up.
Right? Yeah, there are weapons that will incapacitate people for a period of time. So you're incapacitating them while you're finishing these up to go back over there. So man, it
gets intense.
It's deep,
but it's a fun intense. You're on the edge of your seat kind of thing, and it's just
until you lose the same battle 6 times, then it just gets infuriating.
Oh, dude,
but that would be any game.
Oh,
no, for sure. The game does push back. There are some difficult moments in that game. There's some times I'm I can't believe I just died. There's other times man, I died. I didn't. I had a plan going into this area. Did not execute it at all.
It was a bad plan.
Yeah, I just missed the 2 things I needed to do, and those guys smoked me. So there was a lot of times I did die. I felt it was my own fault, and there was a couple times too, on bosses where I was man, I'm not getting this. I don't know what I should do yet, and then you figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it definitely doesn't I had more pushback than I anticipated.
Yep.
Especially when you go through that middle part of the game, it's so there's the 3 acts of the game, and it seemed as you get towards the end of every act, you're starting to steamroll the groups of enemies you come across, and then you run into the boss level and the boss battle, and that it ratchets up a bit, and then you go into the next level, and initially it's really hard, and then you hit the middle part where you're cruising through everyone, and it ebbs and flows the whole way through.
So let's talk about kind of the moment by moment for the game. So what you do. So you get main missions, there are side missions, and then there are different versions of collectibles. A lot of it is pretty much go as you will. What this game does, like very similarly to like Horizon and God of War, is like the main objective isn't like I got a call and they're killing somebody. But I'll get to it later. I'll go collect these backpacks, and then I'll get over there. They do a really good like here's the main mission. Get to it when you want to progress the story, which was a lot of it. 'Cause I did really enjoy the story. We'll talk about that in a minute.
That aspect was really nice, but the problem I had sometimes was like I'd finish a story mission and they'd be like, "Oh, go fool around." And I'm like, "Oh, I already did everything."
It was like they're like, "I got some time to kill," and it'd be like 2 minutes later, and then Yuri, who was like your person in the chair in this game, would call, be like, "This is happening." Like I got 2 minutes. I couldn't even get to where I was going.
Like that would happen. I'd be like, "Okay, I got a crime alert here. Yeah. I'm gonna go chase that robbery down or whatever." I'd be halfway there, and it was like 200 meters away. I'd be halfway there, and like, "Oh, hey, here's a story mission." I'm like, why did you tell him to screw up?
So, I mean, talk about the different collectibles. So, I mean, the side missions are like standalone side missions, and some of them were fun, some of them were whatever. But they have the backpacks, which I just referenced a minute ago, which were awesome. So this, not to get into the story yet, but this story is 8 years into Spider-Man. And the backpacks kind of fill in a little bit of the story because it's not exactly the normal Spider-Man lore. It's like
I was going to say, that was a question I had for you guys. Yeah. Like, how in line with, like, the Spider-Man like universe is the story?
But it's like, it's its own take. It's like another.
As someone,
comic,
it's its own flavor.
Yeah. As someone whose knowledge of Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire movies, this was very different.
This is like it's just like another, because like there's like in the comic world there's Amazing Spider-Man, there's Superior Spider-Man,
Ultimate,
like it's like this is like another one of those.
Like, and this is what it's meant to be. That's why he had a different suit and everything
too. The lore
is
similar, but there are differences.
And so like with this being a different story from what I'm used to, like it's one of those things. Like I'm glad they didn't do the same. The old worn out Uncle Ben got killed. Origin story type thing. But it was also confusing for me because like you start off the game and he's not shooting the webs from his wrist. He has gadgets he puts on that shoots the webs.
Which is the only time that wrist thing actually happened was in those movies. So that's like, if that being the only frame reference, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
But it wasn't like it was like a showstopper. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's weird. Let's move on.
Yeah, right. So you're 8 years in. You have the backpacks, which kind of fill in a little bit of the backstory, and I collected all of them immediately because they were super fun, and like they had callbacks to old games and the movies and a bunch of stuff.
They were awesome.
So like you said, you talk about random encounters. So you get the random encounters. You get like a voice in your ear that's like, hey, there's a robbery at 5th and whatever.
You hear like the police radio.
Yeah, you hear the police radio. So and then you go stop the crime, like because you're the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So that's really cool. They have birds you collect for a guy. The research stations.
Yep.
Research stations where you just do research things. Those were my least favorite of them all. So, and there's some different ones. But while you're doing all those things, what you're doing when you finish those pop-ups, you're collecting tokens, and those tokens are what you use to upgrade your gadgets, your suits, buy new gadgets, buy new suits, get the add-ons for the suits. Those are your currency throughout the game. So like you're really encouraged to go do those things, and thank you.
It was like teeter on the edge.
So you're really encouraged to go do those things, and different types of missions give you different tokens. So you are gonna
and there's sometimes like bonus objectives, where then you'll get additional tokens on top of the basic of just completing it.
Yeah, so like it'll be stop this crime, but while you stop this crime, web 8 other bad guys to a wall and get a 20 hit combo.
Right.
So you don't get 1 token, you get 3 tokens.
Yeah.
And it makes the upgrading even better. So if you're having that I think taught you the how to fight with the gadgets and how to fight and all those fighting things we just talked about. I think that's how they taught you that. So that's kind of the crux of the game, right? It's like you swing around, you do those missions, you do the collectibles, and the collectibles allow you to get new gadgets, and really the missions are what allow you to level up and get more health. Yeah. So it's like there's reason to do everything throughout the game, and most of those collectibles were super fun. I didn't even talk about the Black Cat ones, which I liked a lot.
That was cool.
That one was really cool, and they're all story based, purposeful, useful, and worth my time. With a few exceptions, especially near the end of the game. I was done fighting crime by the end of that game.
Oh, dude.
So that's kind of the part where I'm at now.
Yeah.
So
that was the worst. That's the point where I almost gave up on the platinum.
I'll talk about this more in the spoiler part because it does kind of what I'm going to say.
It does, yeah.
So remind me of that when we get into spoilers.
Yeah, you unlock some new collectibles near the end of the game that are very similar to the ones at the beginning of the game. I'm like, I don't want to do any more of this, but I'm so close. I'm going to do it. Yeah. So, anything else is spoilery. But yeah, so I don't know. Anything else? Any other non?
I mean, the best way I can describe this game to people, and the way I've been describing it to people, is it's basically, in my mind, it's Grand Theft Spider-Man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's you have the open world. There's the objective. You don't have to go do the objective. Yep. There's a billion other things for you to do. You can sit there and walk down the street and just check out the city. You can go do picture mode. You can, and they take with the open worldness. They take a lot of things. They take a lot of bites from other games that have done it. So they have the radio towers you have to decode, and then it's like Assassin's Creed. Yep. The points. It opens up the world and show Then you
pan around.
Yeah, pans around. You
shows other things.
Then you can click the right sticks, and then you can see all the beams where all the collectibles are. And as a fan of Grand Theft Auto, I like a good open world that I can just fuck around in, and
for sure.
I don't have to do the story. Right now I'm mainlining the story because I've collected some stuff, and I was trying to finish it before this, but life happened.
Yeah,
but,
close.
I mean, it's still when I go home and play it, it's like you mentioned, you get the breaks between missions, and that's kind of annoying. I'm at that point. It's like I don't just give me the next mission. I don't want to go do something else. Right. I just want to go do the next mission to move the story along.
Yep.
My only real peeve I have with this game is the back end collectibles. I just didn't want to do. If they were something else, not just literally the same thing I did 2 other times before across the whole city.
Right.
Not like once or twice.
Yeah.
There's 5 per section of Manhattan, and there's a lot of sections. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 9.
Right.
There's a lot.
There's a small one in there somewhere.
Yeah. So it's not like go collect 5 things. It's a lot. It was a lot to end up doing.
It was.
That I wasn't super happy with. But it plays great. It's super fun. It's fantastic. Gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous. And they start the game. The very first time you're swinging around the city is at like sunset.
Yeah.
And like it's like there's not like a day-night cycle. Like the day-night cycle switches when you're doing the missions.
Yeah.
So like you can just be in night for a lot of it, or you can it's the sun sets forever. It's just the sun doesn't move.
Slowest sun ever.
The city looks nice and everything.
Yeah.
And night is when it totally shines.
Yeah.
It looks amazing at night.
Swinging around at night is
awesome.
so much fun.
So awesome.
And like walking around, hitting the square button, and like giving the guns and the highs and the
how you doing?
Yeah. What I liked about the game was all those things. The story, I think, was better than any Spider-Man movie, maybe outside of Homecoming. It's great. Unequivocally great. If you like open world games, if you like Spider-Man, if you like, I don't know, video games, you should probably go check it out. It is a ton of fun and worth every single penny. And I'm dying for more.
But that's the thing. Like I'm waiting to get to the end here, and I'm gonna slowly grind through the extra stuff to probably finish out the trophies. I'm gonna see where I am at that point because. They have DLC coming out like a month after release. Like, they have one coming out, I think,
October 23rd.
Yep.
Yeah, one comes out October, 1 November, 1 December, and those are the 3 DLCs.
And the first one is Black Cat centric.
And it's one of those things like that. That's part of the reason I don't like DLC release schedules like that. Is usually by the time I hit the end of a game like this, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done playing it. I don't want to put it down and forget about it and come back a month later and I don't remember how to do shit. So we'll see how I feel at the end of the game. The one I don't know if you guys ran into this at all. When you're going through and you do hit a quick time event, did you guys have any issues with button presses registering?
No.
I wonder if maybe it's
Not really.
I don't think it's my controller because I use the controller for other games and it works fine. But there's times where it's like press the 2 triggers and I have to hit them 3 times to get it to register.
Well, when they have, what I found was, it was different. Like when the circles would come in, they had to be near the end before they would hit.
Yeah.
Like if you did them right away, it wouldn't go.
The circle had to turn green.
Right. So there was there would be the
button.
button. There'd be the button in the middle, the circle on the outside, and the circle would be going into it.
Yeah.
The circle, the big circle had to come into the little one.
Once it came into the little one, turn green. Then you press it, it would activate.
Yeah. So I think that's where that's probably where you're at.
That could have been it too. Yeah.
That might be it. I don't remember them pointing that out during any tutorials, but who knows? It was a while ago.
Okay, so
I did have the game crash on me 3 times.
I had it crash on me the first day, and that was it.
Mine hasn't crashed on me. However, this is the first game to make my PS4 Pro sound like a goddamn jet engine.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah. It's running like crazy. And I also had some audio glitches too.
I had one audio glitch.
It was so loud.
It was mine. Mine was the opposite. Mine, I lost a voice track during a cutscene. I was like, well, this is kind of an important one, so I had to like restart it and go back.
Two sound effects blended together, and it was. Oh my god! It made me jump at 2 in the morning.
I haven't had anything like that. Yeah, another testament to how much I've enjoyed playing this game. The first weekend that it was out, I went in my basement. I was playing Rainbow Six for a while. 1 in the morning, I'm calling it a night. I'm going to bed. Couldn't fall asleep, so I went downstairs and played Spider-Man. I was up till 5:30 in the morning playing the goddamn game.
Yes.
So
that's like, it says something for this game because I'm the guy who has no frame of reference for Spider-Man.
Right.
I'm not a comic book guy.
Right.
I saw some movies years ago.
Some of them were good.
Some were good. I think I only saw the first 2 of the Tobey movies.
Oh yeah, then you're good.
Then you're fine.
Yeah, 3 never happened. Don't know about 3.
And but it grabbed me enough to like the only other game that like open world game that's grabbed me this much that I can recall in the past handful of years to keep me up like way later than I should be is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying something if that's my point of reference for how this open world compares to that one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both alive in their own different ways, but yeah, I mean, I was sitting there and, got out of bed at 1:30 and I'm downstairs playing. I'm like, I'll do this for an hour or 2, go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And I hit a point where I check my phone. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's 5. I'll just finish up this mission, go to bed.
Yeah.
No, and then I check it out. I'm like, oh, it's 5:30. I really got to go.
Very similar. Like last weekend, last Friday, so until 4.
Yep.
And I started playing around 7.
I had a deal like that too.
Oh yeah, and then Saturday I started playing around 8, 9, and stayed up till 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had 2 very
so good.
big days. I could not stop.
And there's just so much love too. There's so many like references and like hidden jokes and like. There's and like when I was getting into it before, because I'd never look at the trophy list before I finished the game. That's why I made a grave mistake.
That's why I'm waiting to do all the collectibles after I finish the story because I don't want to go look at the list at this point because I'm pretty sure a while back when the list first came out, people said like there's spoilers in there. Don't look at it.
So like they have like the Daily Bugle, like the machines, like the ones like where they had where you get the newspaper from, and like it said like you've seen like one. I didn't know there was existed until I was halfway through the game.
Same
so
here.
I was like, you're one of like 50. I'm like, oh no, I've missed them all. Like I'm never gonna get this. But that like is one. It's one of those things like it's cool to see. It's an add-on, and it's nice to see like the newspaper spin on some things as well.
Yeah.
But like man, there's just so much love and character and just like charm.
I know.
And we even talk about the characters yet. We're just talking about like the game.
Yep.
So like I think when we get into the story, we might talk about a little more about the characters, and at that point we'll talk a little more spoilery.
Let's come on.
Okay. Okay.
Before I die.
This is
before I pass out.
any last things to talk about the day-to-day functionality gameplay of this?
No, if you like open world games, even if you really aren't interested in Spider-Man, give it a shot.
All right, cool. All right, we're now getting into spoiler zone, hence missing.
Ooh, yeah.
We're all spoiled now. That's what that means. This is for Carlos Hyde.
Oh, thank God.
All right.
Don't worry. I'm not going to do it again.
Don't get into it again.
Different video.
Anyway. Yeah, this is gonna make no sense because we did this out of order. You leaving? You finding $1?
I need that $1 for lunch tomorrow.
I understand. Okay, so we talked about this story a little bit. So it's 8 years in.
So good.
I don't know where to start with this because it's so much. Go ahead. You go.
Okay, all right, so we're 8 years in. MJ knows. MJ knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So that's a big point. That's a very big point right there. It's like, okay, so this is where we're at with that.
Right.
So they've already been together once. They've separated. They're wait, we didn't talk about those missions. The Mary Jane missions.
They're fine.
Yeah, it's
the stealth missions are kind of annoying.
I almost
like it was the story part of it was really cool.
Yep.
I just didn't like doing it. Just tell me the story.
I felt okay. So you play as both. Okay, so we'll turn this into a spoiler version because you also play as Miles.
Right.
You play as Miles in the same kind of stealth missions as you play as MJ. I basically ran through those. Like I didn't really that was my thing.
I
with
got
it, like,
caught a couple times.
Me too.
But it was just like, oh, I probably should have waited till that guy turned around.
Oh, I probably should have knocked all those boxes
or
over.
something. Yeah, exactly. Or oh shoot, I ran over
I stepped on glass.
Oh,
yeah,
my bad.
that was what got me more than anything else.
Yep.
So I feel like there was like 1 or 2 trial and error points, and then I ran through the rest of it. So I feel like I mowed through those for the most part. So they didn't really bother me that much. Okay.
They're just annoying.
I don't feel they were necessary for the game.
I mean, I think it was meant just as a pace breaker. So, like,
Yeah.
because you're just going a million miles an hour as Spider-Man, and okay, stop, do this, do something different. So, story, go ahead.
Okay, so well, we can talk a little bit about the evolution of Mary Jane then in this.
Yeah.
So she basically, she's working for the Bugle.
Yes.
Which is a whole new, she's working for the Bugle. Peter's not,
right?
Which is a completely new concept for me.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
So she's working on it. She's clearly working on like these stories, trying to get promoted and all this other stuff. And then eventually, her and Spider-Man are basically just working hand in hand with a lot of these.
We'll talk about being partners,
right? And then they end up being partners, right?
When they first come in contact, it almost seems like they haven't even been in contact for a while before this happens.
Right? Yeah. Yep. It seems like they broke up.
Yeah.
They probably stopped talking to each other for a while and give each other some space.
Yeah.
And now their worlds are crossing again. Right. That's basically how this happened.
And because like right off they cross each other's paths, in the course of the story, and then like immediately after that they go eat lunch at a diner or something, or dinner at a diner.
So
and it's like a very awkward conversation.
So Emma's working at the Bugle.
Yeah.
Peter is were you going somewhere else with this?
I was, but that's okay.
No, you sure?
No, I was just saying. You mentioned lunch, which had the greatest cameo ever.
The short order cook is the best.
The short order cook is Stan fucking Lee.
He looked,
awesome.
And he looked great.
He looked amazing.
It's one of those things like I expect him to pop up in the movies.
I was actually I never even thought about that.
I didn't think of it until
that was awesome.
Until you hear the voice off screen. I was like, oh fuck, that's Stanley, and then it's his face.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's fantastic.
That was really cool.
That was awesome.
So anyway,
it's not quite the DJ in the strip club in Deadpool, but it's
pretty
fucking good.
It was still amazing.
So Emma's working at the Bugle. Peter is working on a project. He's basically, as a science project, he's an assistant to Dr. Octavius.
Yeah.
So that was
awesome. I was not expecting that.
They didn't show him any of the trailers, whatever it is, but you see Octavius. He's
Great
not Doc
job
Ock yet.
Under wraps.
That
was incredible.
Right. So Octavius, they're working on prosthetics. Yep. Right. So what's really that whole story arc, I thought, really made the game for me.
Yes.
And and the juxtaposition between what is happening in everyone in Peter's life is on the uptick, right? Mary Jane's got an awesome job and she's getting promoted. Spider-Man, Tom loves him.
Yep.
High fives in the street. He's working with the cops. Like, he's working with and everyone.
J. Jonah James doesn't like him very
much.
much.
Oh my God, James. Those podcasts were just hilarious.
Yeah, so those are playing the whole time you're traversing the city.
Right.
And like early in the game, it's like, you can hit this to unsubscribe from this. I'm like, why would I want to do
I
that?
saw that. I was like, why no? I want to. It gives me motivation.
So, Aunt May is working at like the shelter, and she's like second in command there. So all these people,
center.
Right? All these people in Peter's life, including Spider-Man, his alter ego, whatever, however you want to look at that, he is like on the uptick, and Peter's life is terrible.
Yeah,
he's getting evicted from his house. His project's getting blown up by Osborn, who is the mayor of this version of Spider-Man. So like all these bad things are happening to him, and all these good things are happening all around him. So it's like that happening along with the Doc Ock storyline. So it was just like, man, like he at the end of the story. Oh, do you want to jump there yet? What were we going to say?
Art's going to leave when we talk.
Oh, yes, right. I'm sorry.
I was going to say the whole progression of Octavius and Doc Ock. I wish like they went from normal guy to raging psychopath like way too quick. I wish there had been more of a progression there.
Well, they had the moment where Peter's working on a suit, and Doc Ock Dr. Octavius sees him, and it's just like, it's like, yo, you're working with Spider-Man. And Peter Parker's like, yeah, I'm helping him out, whatever it is. Yeah. So like, and he builds that white suit. Dr. Octavius builds the white suit, the iconic suit for this universe.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe he's gonna be like helping me.
Right.
So I was thinking, like, I don't know how they were gonna, how much of the mythology they were gonna change in this. So like, I had that moment right before he hits raging psychopath. It was like, maybe he's gonna be like a helping person, or maybe, and then when you talk about like the neurological effects of this thing that attached to his brain, I was like, ugh, okay, this is okay. He's gonna be down.
Yeah,
we know where we're going.
Yeah.
Well, it's like there's the point. You start off in the game and he's friendly Dr. Octavius.
Yeah.
He's trying to help these veterans who lost limbs that get prosthetics that are more advanced than just a plastic arm or something. And it's fine. And even then, like as soon as I saw him, I'm like, okay, I think I know where this is going. And then they have Osborn show up and confiscate all his projects and shut down his lab and take away his funding. And I'm like, okay, there's the motivation. There's where it's going.
Right.
Yeah.
And Osborn is really this through point of most of the story, right? So like, Octavius is vendetta against him. Mr. Negative. We talked about Mr. Negative, who was like one of the main villains in this game, has a vendetta against Osborn. He brings in forces to the city that are basically turns it into like a military state. Yeah. So like he is really, and again, we'll get to the end of his story here in a minute, but
the thing with Mr. Negative, Mr. Lee, I think that would have been more amazing if they didn't show him off beforehand.
I think
like it would have been more of a oh fuck kind of moment
if they would have showed him.
No,
if they would have just put him in, I guess yeah, because then he would have been. I would have thought I didn't know who Mr. Negative was at all.
Right.
Before this thing happened, if they would have just
same.
If they would have just if they had Mr. Lee, who is the head of the shelter that Aunt May is working at, if he all of a sudden became this villain, I'd be like, oh, they created a villain for this thing, which I think would have been cool as well. But getting a chance to like know who he is and actually read a little bit about him before this thing, I think enhanced my enjoyment of this. So I don't know if that's what they were trying to get at when they were showing him so early and so often.
Maybe, yeah, because like I said, I don't know, because I just as I was sitting there just thinking about it, I'm just like, man, if I would have just found this out, that would have been a little bit more impactful. Like, I mean, because the whole time, like the minute you get introduced to him right away, pretty much early on, and it's like, well, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so when are you going back?
Yeah, right.
Like, when is this happening?
Right.
And of course you were in love with Aunt May. Like, I mean, you work so well together.
Right.
Like, of course.
Yeah. Well, it's you're saying like you're waiting for the oh fuck moment. Well, if they hadn't shown him off, that would have been an oh fuck moment. I mean, he still brings you the oh fuck moment.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely does. I mean,
are you talking about the rally and the speech? The whole thing?
Oh god. Yeah,
okay, let's talk about
insane.
that.
That was insane.
Early, I don't want to spoil everything. I know this is a spoiler cast, but like whatever. So like,
you've been warned many
times.
Wait.
Before we get into this, because you're going to go into it, but this is where Miles comes into the story.
Yes.
I have, knowing nothing about the Spider-Man universe, like I looked this up and found out it was like actually part of the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did they come up with an idea to have a black cop named Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy?
It's a common name.
Yeah. Okay. I saw it and it was like Jefferson Davis, the black cop. I'm like, they're fucking with me, right? And I like Google it and it's like, no, in the Marvel universe, Jefferson Davis. I'm like, okay, all right.
So they have, again, talking about Osborn being the through point of the story. He is doing a rally to, because Officer Davis saves Spider-Man in a very public way, and they're going to have like a big speech because again he's doing a big speech and
he's running for re-election.
Mr. Lee comes in, aka Mr. Negative,
fuck shit up,
and has a suicide bombing.
with
a bunch
of suicide bombers.
Yeah, and. Whoa, did that get way darker than I ever thought this game was going to get.
I'm supposed to get away with a T rating with some of the stuff in this game. It's probably, I'm sure it was like on the board.
If there was an ounce of blood, I think, in that section, I think there would have been.
Okay, that makes sense. That could have been it.
But like,
it was intense moments.
The bomb goes off, and then you see the cars come in, and it's like, and these guys come out with machine guns, they're just mowing down the survivors.
Yeah.
Like, and you're playing as Miles right now, who has no powers whatsoever because Peter's been knocked out.
Right.
I thought I had the moment where like, oh shit.
Metal Gear Solid 2?
Yes.
I did too.
They're gonna do the
I was like, no, don't you tell me I'm playing as Miles the rest of this.
Yeah, like, are they okie doking me this whole thing? They did, but I'm happy they didn't. What they did,
that was good.
Everything about this game, story-wise, I absolutely adored. But anyway, so like they have that section, and like you have to do a stealth mission to go through there, and it's just like, I can't believe this is happening in this story.
I say, going back to this, like they do the suicide bombing. They have the guys coming in the trucks mowing down, people who weren't taken out by the bombing, and then it's like the no Russian mission in Call of Duty. They're walking around and they're shooting people on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm not far from that.
I'm like, this is fucking dark for a comic book game.
And
was
they
crazy.
had that moment. They had the moment when I forget what the doctor's name that had the dragon's breath. I think it was called. Remember?
Oh,
There's a bunch of different doctors.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of that in that area.
There's like a
in
Dr.
that time
Morgan
span. I know
and,
what you're talking
well, the
about.
one that
eventually gave it up.
No, the one that Mr. Negative corrupted
he
and had him
possessed,
shoot himself in the head.
Yeah. God, what was it? Was it Dr. Morgan?
Morgan was the guy who actually had the devil's breath.
That's
who
right.
They took it away from out of the
there's
car.
a bunch of them
So
right in the road there.
yeah, so the whole thing is
it was like something that started with a U. I don't remember.
Again, Osborn being like the linchpin of all this stuff. They're creating. They're trying to create a nano machine driven serum that is meant to attack any kind of diseases, including cancer and whatever it is. However, in its unstable state, it was killing people.
Yeah. It was killing people. It was highly contagious.
Yep. So it was basically like a plague, a plague that would happen. So like Mr. Negative is trying to find a bit of it to spread in the city to expose Osborn for the crook and thief he is.
He's trying to find the only sample of it that exists.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of this is like hunting down scientists and gathering information. That's the crux of the middle part of the story.
Right.
Near the end of the story, Octavius releases it.
Yes.
He finds it, he gets it, he releases it, infects the city.
Like, no subtlety or trickery about it. He just stands above Times Square and just rips it open.
Yep.
How far are you in the story? Is that about where you're at?
I'm a little bit past that. Like I said, I just got past the first boss fight where you fight the two guys.
So they do that. Was
that Vulture?
Vulture and
Electro?
Electro, yeah.
Okay.
So they showed a bunch of the different villains in the E3, the most recent trailer.
Yeah.
So
before the game came out, it was confirmed there were 6 villains.
Yeah.
And around the release time, it said there's a 7th one they haven't shown off, which was Octavius.
Yeah. So Octavius releases Rhino, Scorpion, Shocker. No, not Shocker. Well, they showed Shocker was early in the game. So there's Electro.
I think he did release Shocker too. I'm
remember.
not sure if
he said he was working for somebody. I thought he was working for Lee. Anyway, Vulture. I didn't say everybody. Mm-hmm. So they all get released from the raft, and they're Sinister Six is born, and they're all being funded either like with actual money or with like a proposition of some kind of promise.
Quasi blackmail. Almost.
Yeah.
It's not always something negative to hold over their head, but it's like. For Rhino, it's like I can get your armor off of you and help you lead a normal life again.
Right, but I knew he was in this too. I think that might have been the lore for this. I don't know if that was.
I don't remember which one it was, but for one of the guys, it was I'll make all your debts go away.
Yeah, Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like and that is how the Sinister Six get together, and that's how you fight him. But I think a really smart thing they did was have you fight those guys in pairs.
Yes.
Because you fought Scorpion and Rhino, and you fought Vulture and Electro together. Lee and Octavius had their moments in the sun. Like they should, because they're the two main villains for the game.
Yeah.
But like I was like, man, I'm getting near the end of the game.
Be careful where you go now, because the Rhino and Scorpion is just where I'm at.
I'm talking vagaries still. So I mean, I think.
Wait, you fight Octavius?
So I just had to get a moment of sun. That's how you fought him. But I thought.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I think they nailed the tone of Peter Parker, of Spider-Man, of the city, of this kind of story, of Octavius, and like the relationships. I mean, you have these little mini games in the Octavius's lab that you're basically building Doc Ock.
Yep.
So Peter Parker, again, messing everything up for his self, who is like Octavius is like a father figure and his boss and a pupil and like something he's always looked up to. He is creating the thing that's ultimately going to destroy him.
Yep.
Well, it's also like in that whole story arc of things, it's like you talk about the beginning, like Peter Parker's life is in the shitter.
Yeah.
But he shows like ridiculous loyalty to Octavius. Like he gets shut down. Octavius is like, you should find another job. I can't pay any money. He's like, well, I like what we're working towards with the prosthetics. Yeah. He's like, I want to keep working towards this to make the world a better place. Yeah. And so he like shows this like just blind loyalty to the man.
Right.
And then like even towards the end when he starts like when he develops the advanced prosthetics that eventually turn into the arms, he tells him, he's like, there's something bad going on here in this design. It's it's not going to work the way you think it's going to work, and Octavius ignores him. And
this is big triumph. He needs this to keep his research going.
So he needs research going to show Osborn that he's smart.
He's superior to him.
You're right.
All right.
Yeah.
It's time.
All right. I'm leaving.
Bye.
Peace.
See ya.
Later, stickheads.
Yeah, I got you. Later. So everyone dies. Okay, so let's start off. Let's start off with the big.
This game made me so emotional.
Let's talk about the end.
So emotional.
You have a really fun fight with Lee.
Yeah.
You have a amazing fight with Doc Ock.
Oh my god!
On
that
top
fight
of
was
Osborn
incredible.
Tower.
Like, so it took me a minute to figure out what I had to do. Like, because I was like, okay,
Which I think
chasing me, I'm moving around. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, there's something I should be doing here. Then I realized, like, oh, you pick up those things, you swing it at them, and then you gotta eventually basically discharge them 4 times, and then you can do whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this actually isn't that bad. It's pretty easy.
You get there's like stages of the fight, right? You have the beginning one where you're swinging around and he's throwing crap at you, whatever it is, and you end up fighting off of the roof of Osborn Corp headquarters and attached to the side of the building, and then you have like this really superhero-y, epic, over the top,
super epic
battle on the side.
Spider-Man with the damaged eye and the fake.
It's just so classic,
God.
so classic.
So good.
I wish I didn't switch suits in that time. I understand why they did a Doc Ock suit.
Yeah. Which that suit was okay. It was fine.
It was fine. I literally played the whole game in the White Spider.
I played it for like 5 minutes.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, I didn't play it all.
What did you play it in?
Once I locked my $20.99, that's all I stuck with. Pretty much, that's all I stuck with.
The second I finished the game, I went into the '90s cartoon one, and I've been doing that ever since.
That's awesome.
It was so good.
The cartoon was awesome.
Anyway,
but that and then just so the moment Ock reveals to Peter Parker
that he knew,
he knows.
Yeah,
Peter Parker's like. Just the look on Peter's face, his demeanor, everything. I'm just like, holy fuck! Like I feel so terrible right now because like he is so hurt and like just feels like he just got stabbed in the back. And, like you know who I am, and you're still doing this.
He's still doing this, and even though like they have that known, they always have that connection, right?
Yeah.
And the only missing link was Peter knowing that Octavius knew about Peter, right? That was the last link together.
Right.
So having it all together and still knowing that he has to get the anti-serum to cure Aunt May, who has been afflicted with the dragon's breath, right? Dragon's breath or demon's breath?
Oh my god! Now I'm drawing a blank.
Okay,
I want to
anyway,
say demon's breath.
I think demon's breath is correct.
Demon's breath because they were the demons.
You're right.
So I'm
I think
wondering if
that's
that's
right.
like kind of the connection.
I don't know. The bad stuff.
Yeah.
So Aunt May got infected with it as well. So like you knew, like even though you already knew that was Octavius and you already had a connection to him, knowing that he knows now makes it even worse because it's like such a more like a heart wrenching moment.
Oh god.
So after you had that fight and you had that and you fall into the building.
Yep.
That speech.
Oh my god.
I didn't know where it was gonna end because you have those moments where, like, because Octavius is like.
I kind of forgot about that for a second.
Yeah.
That whole part. Oh my god.
Octavius is like basically kind of pleading with Peter and being like, "This is why I'm doing this. This is why this makes sense. This is why you should be on my side. Like, but there's still time. Like, we still make this right. We can still do this." And Peter just knows like the intentions are bad, and he kind of comes back and forth. And like that moment where he comes, like he's leaving, and he comes back, and he gives him the last like, "I just can't do it" moment, and walks out, and Octavius just screaming his name. Like, oh my god,
so crazy.
And all that is built up through the whole game, and all the relationship you have with Octavius, and like the missions you had previous to the missions you had previous. You talked about he knew. So like the time he tried to blow him up, he tried to blow up Peter Parker too.
Exactly. Oh my god.
And then you get the anti-serum. And you get back.
I lost it at this part. I'm not ashamed.
I cried.
Oh my god.
So the moment I cried. Yeah. So they tell you, all right, it's gonna take some time to take the one vial of the anti-serum and make it big enough to distribute to everybody. There's a moment where you know that Aunt May isn't gonna make it that long, and you have a moment where you take the serum bottle, you take the IV tap, and he's like almost like if he uses that serum, that's it. That's it. He saves one person as opposed to everybody else.
I was waiting for a quick time to you choose.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking, like, this is where you choose what happens.
That felt very near like that. I equated that to the end. You never beat Last of Us, right?
No. No, it's okay. You can go.
Okay, this is a spoiler cast. I'm spoiling Last of Us too.
It's fine.
Anyway, so at the end of Last of Us, I was waiting for that moment where Joel was gonna either let Ellie stay where she was or take her. So I guess I really didn't spoil it. And it never happened because they were telling a story, and I totally appreciate that. Just like here.
Right. I'm totally happy that they did what they did. I was just kind of waiting for it.
Yeah. Or I think that you don't let Aunt May die, but you make this choice, the greater of the greater opposed to the few, which is really the one, which is Aunt May.
Right.
And you had a moment where Aunt May knows too.
Yeah, and then she knew he was Spider-Man. It's just like, what the fuck?
Everyone knows.
It's like, oh my god, all right.
Everyone but Jonah Jameson knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. So,
well, I don't think Osborn knows.
I think yes. I think you're correct as well.
I'm pretty sure Osborn does not know.
I think you're correct as well. So, like, Aunt May dying.
Oh my god, why?
I was gonna say, like,
why did we have? Okay, first of all, having that happen, it was heartbreaking enough. Why the fuck did you have to bring us to the funeral? Like, at the graves, like, why?
You see May M. Ben's.
Come on! Why did you have to do that?
Yeah, that was tough. So
I'm already not feeling good.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I felt I was so invested in it, and like that was just such like a heartbreaking moment, and like. Fit. Like, I feel like there's all those things when you see like, oh, we killed this person for the shock value, whatever it is. Like, there was no moment of that for me. And that is like the end of the story proper.
Yeah. There's credits roll.
There's one moment where MJ and Peter look like they're coming back together.
Well, right. They're back at the diner.
Right.
And they decide they're going to get back together. Right. They had, I will say, one of the more realistic looking kisses in a video game. Like, yes. That was shocking.
I thought that too.
I was like, hey, that actually doesn't look super awkward.
Yeah, you're just like action figures like banging together. And no, this
looks like a legit kiss. All right.
So I'm gonna walk me through the because. Okay, I got another thought. Walk me through the post credits scenes. Okay. 2 of them. Stick around for the end.
Okay, so after all that happens. Then we start getting this really. That's when the first credits start rolling.
Yep.
Get this really fucking cool like silhouette things of like everything that happened throughout the whole game. The credits rolling and everything.
Like comic booky.
Yeah, right. Like I think of it like after like a Marvel movie, like these MCU movies. Like it's very similar. Very very awesome. So you get through that. So then after that, it's Miles helping Peter move, because. MJ and Peter decided to move in together, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So Miles is helping Peter move into the apartment or whatever, and then he's like, "Hey, Pete, I got something I got to show you, but it's really really weird." And he's like, and then he kind of hits that like it's like puberty kind of thing, which that was pretty funny because then Peter's like, "Whoa, when you start growing hair, like, oh no,
not that.
Let me show you something else." Miles jumps up on the ceiling, holds the spider pose, and then Peter is like, "Oh." He jumps on the ceiling. It's not so weird after all.
Yeah.
And then it fades.
So good.
It's like, oh, that's awesome.
That's so good.
Cool. Very cool. So then we get the next set of credits. Now, this is the part where it's like, okay, there's a circle that says skip. And I didn't do that.
No,
so
I waited.
I don't know yet. Well, and I was waiting, and I fucking realized you could hold the thumbstick to make it roll faster.
Pro tip.
Which then also, too, means I believe you could also hit skip. And
get to the end.
This next part would also happen
Probably.
as well.
Probably, but I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mess
So... Then we get to
the forever credits roll, by the way.
So like oh my god, they were forever. So now we have just like the MCU, we have our final stinger of the game. So you're back, you're in the Oscorp building. During the game, there's a part where, as Mary Jane, you sneak into his
penthouse.
In his penthouse, and you get into the secret room.
Right.
And you start figuring out different things. Well, Osborn goes into the secret room. But then he hits a button that moves something away. It's Harry.
And they've been talking about Harry throughout this whole game.
Yeah,
where Harry's been. They thought he was gone to Europe.
They thought he was on a trip to Europe and everything. It's Harry in a tank in this like green goop. Yep. So originally you're thinking, oh, Green Goblin? Yeah. That's kind of interesting. But then he's talking to him and
Norman Osborn's outside being like, we're going to cure you.
Yeah,
we're going to figure it out.
He wants to help his son. Basically, he's trying to do whatever he can do to help his son. So he puts his hand in the glass. He's like, I love you and everything. Hey, fucking symbiote.
Yep. The black
symbiote web shoots to where his hand is onto the glass.
And
like, oh my fucking god.
I can't.
Black.
I know. I can't. This game.
Oh my god.
This game.
Where's Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, I know. I put 25 really quick hours into this game.
No, that's my one great. I hate when games don't tell me how long I've been playing for, especially a game.
I would love to know. Yeah.
I would. I just like to know because I put my hours anywhere between 28 to 35 is kind of what I was estimating.
Yeah, that sounds about
right.
Again,
I could be totally off.
Yeah, right.
But that's where I'm estimating.
I'm off topic. I'm waiting for that infographic to come out, being like this many thugs punch, this many webs swing.
My god!
I can't imagine how many that is.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Anyway, the 3.3 million they sold of this game. Anyway,
yeah, Jesus.
This game just felt from the post-credit stingers to the tone to the score. It just felt like an MCU movie.
Yeah,
so there's
it totally felt like an MCU movie.
And that's high praise.
Yep.
So like spending that much time with the game, there was a couple. I said there was earlier in this. I talked about like how I was done with like fighting thugs and
oh my god, that was ridiculous. Especially at the end, we were fighting the guys from jail weren't so bad, but the fucking Sable were. I died so many times fighting those Sable.
Those bases were tough, and there was just so many of them, and I didn't want to do any more of it. So I was just like,
I plowed through it though. I was like, you're gonna do this. You're so close to this platinum. Just fucking do it.
Before I was even done with the story, I was like at like 70%, and I knew I didn't have all the collectibles done yet. I was like, okay, I finished collectibles and do these extra things. Like I'm gonna be almost done with it. But overall, man, like there's just so.
Oh, the research stuff you talked about.
Yeah, the research stuff. They were just kind of boring.
They were boring and dumb.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, this felt totally out of place.
The only thing
it interrupted everything.
Yeah, the only thing I got out of that was just like having interaction with Harry, which I think it can be more important later on in the next game. Apparently now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But that at the time it was like this is good.
Yeah, I didn't really. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of that.
And then the fucking Taskmaster. That's awesome.
Really cool. I thought the Shocker fight was really cool too. Yeah. But like the Taskmaster stuff was interesting. Tough.
Yeah.
Especially to get three stars or three.
I didn't get
gold.
any of them. Because there was
I had to if I want to get my platinum.
Well, thankfully there was a couple that I only got 1 star instead of 2. So when I went back and got those, that's how I was able to get my platinum. Then.
Yeah. So I misused my tokens.
Because even then, me too. Because even then I was just like there were times I was like, all right, I did awesome. I'm like,
yep.
What the hell? How the hell did I not get all 3? I did it so fast. I did the best route possible. Yep. I did it. So like my time bonus was awesome, but then like my web points was like 10. And I was like,
I don't understand
what the hell am I supposed to do?
Same thing with the fighting piece of that. Like the stealth missions I mowed through, the bomb missions I mowed through, no problem. But like the swinging ones and the fighting ones, I'm like, why did I get 1? Like what else do I need to do? But anyway, I mean, kind of put a bow on this because we've been talking a little bit longer than I thought we would on this.
No, for sure.
It's a huge game. It's a great game.
It is.
It. I don't know what else there is to really say. There's a lot of stuff we didn't even touch upon in this game that are also really, really good and great and fun.
Yeah.
So like I said at the end of the pre-spoiler piece of this thing, like this game is for comic book fans, Spider-Man fans, movie fans, open world fans, action fans, stealth fans. Like there's so much, and it takes in so many things I loved about Horizon, about God of War, about Far Cry. If you want to talk about bases and like collecting things and story building, and it goes places you don't expect it to story wise. It just hits on so many key points of making a great game.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I said, I mean, those first couple hours were a little rough for me. I'm glad I battled through it. I'm glad I got through those because this is, like I said, it's the best Spider-Man game ever made, and just because of the story alone. Because I had some issues still with the gameplay, even going forward. I still had some issues with some of the stuff, but just for the story alone, like this is like what I will never forget this game. Like it was so memorable. It is one of the best games. Like it is on my top list now of all games I've played of all time. And again, like how Art said, normally when I finish a game, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
When's October 23rd?
Yeah, dude.
Like I need that. I need more.
Yeah.
I need more. Like give me this DLC. Like I am so pumped and ready for it. Like when South Park, like when I was done with that game, I knew DLC was coming. They never said when.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I don't care. I traded the game in, and like even with the DLC coming out, I've never felt the urgency to go back. I fucking want October 23rd to be here now.
Okay, so we know Black Cat's coming out in the first one.
Yeah.
There's 2 more coming.
Yeah.
What one thing do you want out of either one of those?
I don't think they'll do it because it's too major. No, I think they'll wait, but Venom.
I think that's 2.
I think that's definitely
Venom,
2. Like, yes.
Green Goblin. I think all that's 2.
Yes. The only thing with because with Venom, it's like that's the thing with Harry. Like we don't know. Yes, it's a black symbiote, but we don't know what that means. It can mean a lot of different things.
And why is he on Harry Osborn?
Right. Why is he on Harry? What is he like? What does Norman have him in? Like that green goop and everything? Because like to me, that makes me feel like a Green Goblin Venom mixture is going on right now.
They love venomizing everybody right now. So who the hell knows?
Some of those pops are awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool.
So obviously, yes, I think he's too big for that to happen. But I think that could be really interesting. I think actually a mission with Iron Man would be cool.
My original thought was bring someone in from the Marvel Universe in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if they would do it. I don't know if they can.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how the
I don't know what kind of
that.
rights are or whatever. But I think because him and Iron Man have done so much together, and then. You know, because even though you can get the Infinity War Iron suit, I want the proper Iron suit.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be the perfect opportunity to introduce the proper Iron suit into the game, and then there you go.
I want Kraven. I think
that'd be awesome.
Kraven would be
awesome.
So
absolutely.
I think just having like moments where you're just being hunted in the city and trying to escape, or like fight or flight type of stuff. I think that would be so cool in this type of game. So I'm hoping for a Kraven being one of those 2.
Kraven would be awesome because I mean a lot of people have been dying for him in the movies as well.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He's a major character that like major like comic book characters really know about, but other people don't. He's awesome. He's a really awesome villain. So it would be cool to see.
And all the publicity Spider-Man's getting right now, like all the stuff. I think it's like perfect time for like Kraven to start his hunt for Spider-Man.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
All right. I always give you final thoughts on this on our episodes. So what would be your final thoughts on Spider-Man and PlayStation 4?
Platinum it.
100% agree. It makes total sense. Yeah. It's not crazy.
Nope.
You get a lot of it just by going through the game and doing it's fun.
Yep.
It's fun to platinum the game.
I will say I will give you credit. The only thing that's not fun is those last 2 thug sanctions.
Yeah.
Like, because there's 10 of them in each region total. Yeah. 5 of each. And like towards the end of the game, you're like, all right, this is really annoying. This like that was the worst part of the platinum. I will be honest. Like, but swinging through, actually, those ones surprisingly popped up way faster than the other ones.
Once you're in that portion of the town,
they were just constantly popping up. So I was like, okay, this actually isn't too bad. Like, it was so annoying, but it took maybe an hour. Like, so it took it added an hour of when it could have finished the game.
It was the annoying piece of it for me was just like there was a ton of variety in this game.
Yeah.
But there are 4 collectibles that are the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So especially near the end of the game, just give me another backpack type situation.
Right. Yep.
Or like intel drops or just just something else to collect as opposed to fighting another base, fighting another crime. I thought that was the only thing. I was just like, that was the only like lacking piece of it for me. Everything else was a absolute joy. I adore this game. Go out, go find it, go play it. If you don't have a PlayStation 4, go buy one.
Agreed. 100%. You need to.
This year's games alone warrant a PlayStation 4 purchase.
Absolutely. I mean, PS4 it's just been ridiculous. I mean, I bought Tomb Raider on Xbox because with the X enhancements and stuff like that. But like, man, I haven't been putting down my PlayStation controller at all. For sure. It's just incredible.
So we will definitely bring this game back up. Game of the year time near the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Outside of that, thank you for joining us. Spider-Man review / Spoilercast long discussion. I think you nailed it. Check us out. No, where's Art? I need Art to do the rigmarole. Find us on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. And Facebook and Twitter.
We are a bi-weekly podcast. If you just Google Spider-Man review and came across us, we are a bi-weekly podcast. We do some other random videos here and there, and active on Twitter and Facebook and all that good stuff. All those links are in our YouTube page. If you're watching this, you can find all that stuff on our comments. So
check everything else out.
Thank you for joining us, guys, and we will see you soon.